Some big but very quiet changes to the AMA rulebook were made this week that will have dramatic impacts on what riders are eligible to race and in what classes that are effective immediately. Most notably, the 250 eligibility class point restriction has been altered in a great way that will alleviate the bottleneck at the top of the class and severely reduce the amount of sandbagging late in the season. Welcome back to RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Let's take a look at the competition bulletin updated by the American Motorcyclist Association on December 1st that specifically targets a few key changes to the Supercross and Super Motocross championships, brought to you by O'Neill. Section 1 and 2 of the bulletin just has to do with the series and the governing body logos on jerseys and number plates. Simply put, this is just changing the previous Monster Energy Supercross logo to an updated SMX logo to reflect the change in series name. The third section has to do with national numbers and how they are earned and kept. Previously, the only way to earn a single-digit number was to win a national championship in either discipline. This means a 250 motocross title or 450 motocross or supercross title, with the 250 regional titles not eligible for a single-digit permanent number. But now, in addition to that, a rider winning the SMX title in either class can earn a single digit. This means you no longer need to be the best over a 17 or 12 race series, but instead just string together 3 stellar races at the end of the year and you could be rocking the number 4, 5, or 8 soon. A mega change that is surely fueled by this year alone is the addition of a restriction about who can petition to keep their permanent numbers. Previously, if you failed to score 25 points in a season, you would lose your career number unless you asked for an exception, which was almost universally granted. This was meant for riders that suffered devastating injuries to have time to heal up without resetting their brand, but has more recently been abused. This year alone, 6 riders invoked the exception rule, with Adam Cianciarulo and Colt Nichols having legitimate claim to the role after suffering real injuries in competition early in the season, but the other 4 never even attempted to line up. Osborne officially announced his retirement twice in 2020 due to career-ending injuries, but still electing to keep his number anyway. Similarly, Chad Reed had a very prestigious farewell tour in 2020 and did not line up in 21 or 22, but he also asked to keep his number, continuing to be the only one to run 22 since the permanent number format was instituted over 20 years ago. Justin Hill quietly retired in 21 and was allegedly planning a return in 22 with the PRMX team that never materialized, and Brock Tickle sat out the entire year after taking a test ride position with Monster Kawasaki, and despite having no path to return in 23, claimed his exception again as well. This is preventing 4 privateers from earning 2-digit numbers, which would be a huge milestone and a career accomplishment for them. But now it seems you are only granted a single appeal for your entire career. I'm sure there will be even more extenuating circumstances if the injury is literally so bad you can't even ride, but this would at least get the best of the best to return for even just a few rounds if they are able to race in order to secure their number. Section 4 is actual race related. The first point about the Triple Crown format, this format allows multiple bikes to be teched in since the time between races is so short. Previously, you could not swap your bikes out after the start of the sight lap, but now in the event your bike does break during the sight lap, you can still swap it as long as you have it in your gate before the 30-second board has been held above the Monster Girl's head. 4.18 Article F is a brand new rule that applies in non-Triple Crown events. In the event there are less than 40 total riders attempting to qualify, a rider may be denied the option to compete in the program based on lap times at the sole discretion of race direction. Also, previously, the use of starting blocks were prohibited in the series when starting on dirt since Supercross moved to the steel grates, but with the introduction of the hybrid events in 2023, start blocks are now allowed even when starting on dirt. Restarts have been changed, but not in the way we were maybe hoping. The industry was keen on having riders that cause a red flag to be penalized somehow in the event that they are able to line back up, but this is not the case. Instead, they have just added a 2-position penalty to anyone who passes a rider in front of them before the starting line during that staggered start, but this is a very rare occurrence, so this rule should not have that much impact. And finally, Section 5, the biggest news, so let's read through it. Section 5.1 covers earning your Supercross license, and Supercross Futures eligibility. The main addition is the rule that anyone who qualifies in the top 40 of a Supercross event in the past 3 years is no longer eligible to compete in the Futures class, which is obviously fair. But Section 5.2 is the biggest change yet, changing the eligibility rules of who can race in the regional 250 Supercross classes. Previously, the rule was very convoluted. Effective in 2007, any rider that averaged 15 points per main event in the 250 class would earn a strike against their eligibility. 3 strikes and you're forced to move up. Recently, that restriction was changed to 4 years of eligibility, which gave riders like Christian Craig and Jeremy Martin a lease on the class, but still led to some sandbagging late in the season by contenders that fell out of the title hunt. But that entire system of roles has been scrapped, and in its place is a forced move up for series champions only. If a rider wins a 250 East or West Regional Supercross champion at any point in their career, they are only allowed to stay in that class a total of 4 competitive years. To count as a year against this, you must earn at least 5 points, which would be just a single main event finish of 18th or better. This means that even if a rider wins their rookie season, they still get at least 3 more years of eligibility. There are 2 exceptions listed to this rule. The first is that a defending champion is able to defend his title once, regardless of how many years he has raced. It is unclear if a rider is given a grace period if he won the title but was unable to compete the next season due to injury, meaning guys like Colt Nichols and Justin Cooper, who would they be given a grace period after their January crashes in 2022 and allowed to stay down for 2023 under the new format since they did not accrue the 5 points necessary in their title defense season or not. I could see this going either way, so stay tuned on that. The final exception is that any rider that wins 2 titles is only able to have 3 years in the class, meaning a rider could win his rookie season and then successfully defend twice before moving up. But if they win their 2nd and 3rd year, they would not be able to defend in their 4th. The final clarification is that riders who were previously moved up through points advancement are grandfathered into the old rules, meaning guys like Dean Wilson and Shane McElrath are not able to move back down, as well as Justin Cooper and Colt Nichols, it appears. This is honestly an extensive list of changes to the sport that are minor on paper but will have some very huge impacts. The competition bulletin is properly named, as I think we can all agree that all of these changes are made in the name of competition and will keep more of the best riders on the track instead of swan diving late in the season, as well as clearing out some of the retired guys sooner, much to the chagrin of their egos. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the 250 eligibility changes in specific. Obviously, we all wish the best riders would move up to keep the 450 class stocked full of talent, but I would rather see all of the factory guys on the track rather than high-profile guys getting paid to stay home healthy like we have seen in recent years. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more breaking news and analysis like this. Thanks as always for watching RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Keep it pinned to the weekend.